I have an unusually eclectic group of viewers. Very small. Let's not try to pretend. But that's okay. But what I found is that they are not necessarily all in the United States. And I genuinely didn't understand this, that pizza, being the greatest food this planet has ever spewed forth, is not universally understood in its various styles and types. So this Tedium Unlimited is just a basic pizza primer. And over the next few, I'm going to be going out to the various different styles of pizza places, and I'm going to be showing them to you in more detail. But I just wanted to give you a brief, incredibly brief, and trust me, it's controversial. So whatever I say, there's going to be somebody out there going, well, it's not really that way. That's because there's a lot of fluidity between the various styles of pizza. So let me just give you a basic overview. Now, we'll start in Italy, but arguably that's not where the story really begins. But let's pretend like it is, really the popularity of pizza. People think of it as an Italian food. So, probably the one you're going to hear about most is Neapolitan style pizza. And that is basically a hand-tossed pizza cooked directly on a stone and probably wood-fired. Neapolitan is actually one of those European trademarks now. So you can't call yourself a Neapolitan-style pizza unless you go through their vetting process and buy their particular supplies, which includes like buffalo mozzarella instead of cow mozzarella and etc. So Neapolitan-style pizza is also, people would recognize it as what would be called a hand-tossed pizza, or perhaps an artisanal hand-tossed pizza. If, for example, you could have a hand-tossed pizza cooked in a gas oven, and they'd probably call that hand-tossed pizza. But if you cooked it in a wood oven with a lot of pomp and ceremony and circumstance, and the oven out front to show everyone what a pizza wonk you are, then we'll call that an artisanal Neapolitan-style pizza. But that's what it is. The basic one's a pizza margherita, which is basil, mozzarella, and sauce. 3 colors: green, whitish, yellow, and red, the Italian flag. That's Neapolitan or hand-tossed style pizza. The other major Italian style would be Sicilian, and you will know that as basically a thick crust or a thick pan crust. And that's going to have a different type of bread. It's more like a focaccia, or it's an airier, different texture than what you get out of the hand-tossed pizza. It's almost always is cooked in a pan, but it's going to be thick. And toppings, up to you. So let's move on to the United States. It starts in New York, where you have your New York style pizza. New York style pizza is also a hand-tossed pizza. Arguably, it's supposed to be a big pizza, which was sold cut up for slices so that the slices could be sold. So if you see pizza by the slice, that's probably New York style pizza. It does not have to be that big to be called New York style pizza. It is very thin. It frequently, almost always, but not 100%, almost always has a thicker outer edge for grabbing. And it is so thin and kind of laden that you almost have to bend it in the middle so that you've created a point to keep the pizza from falling apart as you eat it. Now, personal opinion, some people think that's because the middle part's supposed to be soggy and icky, but personally, my opinion is that it still needs to be cooked, and the reason that you're not going to be able to support it is because of the weight of the toppings and the thinness of the crust. But it needs to be cooked and not doughy, and that is a serious problem with New York pizzas, is that a lot of people don't cook the middle. And of course, the bigger the pizza gets, the more lice. But that's typically a New York style pizza. Moving on, next we have Chicago style, which is a pan pizza, a deep dish pan pizza. So differentiating it from the Sicilian style pizza, although it is kind of the same kind of dough, but instead of being thickly layered in a pan, it is pressed into the pan and raised up along the sides. Toppings are put in reverse. Cheese on the bottom, toppings, and then a chunky tomato sauce on top of that. And the reason is because it took cakes so long to cook, you would burn the cheese if you didn't put them on the bottom, whereas the sauce just continues to cook That is a Chicago style. They do have a Chicago style thin crust pizza, which is the same dough but made flat and served. So that's a Chicago thin crust pizza. And then we move on to Greek style pizza, which I didn't know that had a name until today, but now it all makes sense. Because I have a Greek pizzeria right down the street from me, and I eat there quite a lot, and it is subtly different, but I don't know that I would have known. The difference on a Greek-style pizza is that the dough is slightly puffier, but it is a hand-tossed round pizza. By the way, Sicilian square cut in squares. The Greek pizza is slightly puffier, and it's cooked not on the oven floor, but it's cooked in a pan rubbed in olive oil. And so that gives you some browning. Incidentally, so is a Chicago deep dish. They oil the pan so that it browns up the crust on the outside. And then finally, your fourth American style of pizza is the California pizza. Now, this is basically just a hand-tossed crust type pizza. Almost certainly they're going to be going for the artisanal thing with a wood fire and whatnot, although I'm not sure about California Pizza Kitchen. The difference with a California pizza is that they put shit on it that no human should ever want, like, quail eggs and avocado and truffles and newborn baby snot or any other kind of these things that you put on pizzas that just, absolutely insane. So, although you can get at a California pizza place, you can usually get a proper pizza topping, in which case it's just basically a hand-tossed Neapolitan style without calling it Neapolitan pizza. So that is our basic overview. Now, and Phoenix is not a great place for the world's pizza culinary things, but we do have Grimaldi's, which is one of the major New York style pizza places, although we'll talk about that. We've now got the Illuminati's. As I said, I've got a really good Greek pizza style just down the street. And I'll see if I can't find a California-style pizza place that I can go eat at that's not got toppings that I just cannot stomach. And I will do those in future Tedium Unlimiteds, but this is a Tedium Unlimited Pizza Special! Oh, I do hope I get the titles right on that one. It's over here, special down there.